Hey, how's it going? Today I'm talking about, do I still get my Dopey medal if I get swept?
This is Running to the Castle, a podcast for injury-prone RunDisney runners on a journey to running magical miles. Join me, Dr. Allie, as I share the secrets I've gathered as a runner, doctor of physical therapy, and coach. You'll learn the exact ways I get my clients to the castle strong without feeling broken or held together with KT tape as they cross the finish line.
I'm answering a question that comes up all the time in the RunDisney groups, and it's especially real for those of you training for Dopey. If I get swept during one of the races, do I still get my Dopey medal? Let's talk about what actually happens, and more importantly, let's talk about how you can train in a way that keeps you nowhere near the balloon ladies so you don't get swept. Okay, let's get some of the facts out of the way in case you are new to RunDisney and Dopey. Dopey is a 4-day challenge. It's a 5K on Thursday, 10K on Friday, half marathon on Saturday, and full marathon on Sunday. And if you get swept during any of the races, you don't receive the challenge medal. That doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you didn't try hard enough. It means your body hit its limit on that day. And RunDisney does have course rules that they stick to for your safety and timing. That's based on the last person to cross the start line. So you may be going slower than that, and that's okay. But that's the pace the balloon ladies keep. The balloon ladies are the last people to cross the start line. They maintain 16 minutes per mile the entire race. Now, of course, they might go up and down just a little bit, go a little bit faster than 16 and a little bit slower than 16. But if they're going faster, they'll hold off once they hit their checkpoint. They actually hold off a little bit to slow themselves down to hit that pace. And if they fall behind, they will speed up. So they're not perfect, but they promise to end while maintaining that average 16 minute per mile pace. And that's why so many runners get so nervous, especially if you're starting in a later corral. You don't have a proof of time, you've struggled during your past long runs. These things make you nervous if that has happened. And I totally get it because you don't have as big of a buffer between you and the balloon ladies as you would like. It could be 20 minutes, and that is actually quite a lot for a race situation when you're doing the half marathon or the full marathon for Dopey. If you're slower or injury prone and you've invested, let's be real, hundreds or thousands of dollars into Dopey, because the investment for Dopey this upcoming year is just under $800 just for the race itself. That doesn't even factor in cost of flights to get there if you're not local, cost of resort, your hotel that you're staying in for the entire time, because you're going to stay there for probably 5 nights, maybe more. So the thought of getting swept is absolutely terrifying. The balloon ladies, they're iconic, but they're not exactly comforting when they're coming up behind you. But here's the thing. You don't have to train with fear. I want you to have the confidence. And that's why I make these podcast episodes, to give you help, to give you tips, to assuage some of these fears. You don't need to train harder. You need to train smarter with a plan that respects your pace, builds your miles slowly, prioritizes your recovery days, your recovery between race days, and gets you used to moving on tired legs so you don't burn out by the marathon. And I am talking about this because this is something I work with my clients every single day on. In Stronger, Faster, Finisher, that's what it's all about. We make it so that your body is prepared. Can something come up race day? Absolutely. But when we plan and strategize ahead of time, we can anticipate the most common problems that will happen. and we can have a game plan for what to do so that it isn't an issue once you're actually there and it potentially happens, like a fueling mishap, dropped all of your gels or the food that you carry with you. What happens, if you do get placed at the back of the corral? How do you pace yourself to not overdo it and burn out in the beginning? Because, if you're right there with the balloon ladies, it's going to be a natural reaction to want to get right out the gate and go really, really fast. But we have a game plan for that. So, one thing that you can do right now, or when you train rather, because you might not be actively training for Dopey when you listen to this. If you're listening to this at the day that it drops, you're not training for Dopey just yet. But do 4-day back-to-back simulations, even if what you're doing is short. So walk 1 mile one day, walk 2 miles the next, run 3 miles the next, and run 4 miles that last day, that fourth day. You're not testing your endurance here. You're training your recovery system. One of the biggest things that happens with runners when they're doing Dopey is that they don't plan for the tired legs, right? Most training plans have you take lots of rest days in between your long runs. But when you're doing Dopey, your body doesn't have those rest days race weekend. You're going, going, going. And you're probably even going to the park on some of those days, which I do recommend actually, in case you are ever wondering, like, should I not go to the park on race day if I'm doing Dopey? No, please. There's only one day that I recommend not going to the park, and that is between the half, right after the half, between the half and the marathon. I do recommend a different kind of day, and if you're on my email list, you will get the email of what I recommend doing that day, but it's not going to the park, but it's not staying in the hotel either. But one of the things that happens with the traditional training plans or traditional programs, like if you worked with a coach who doesn't know Dopey, they're going to have you rest lots of days, many days between your long runs, which traditionally is good, but we need to prepare your body for race day weekend, which involves 4 days back to back to back. Now, I don't recommend you do this every single weekend, and I do recommend that you do it early because then your body starts getting used to it with lighter miles, and you don't just, in December finally decide to do 4 days back to back and you're running 3 miles day one, 6 miles day two, 10 miles day three, and 20 miles day four. All of a sudden, doing all of that back to back is way too much on your body. So I actually recommend you do it even earlier. So then day one is, like I just mentioned, 1 mile. Day two is 2 miles. Day three is 3 miles. Day four is 4 miles, just as an example. So see if your training plan includes that. So when you're building it up slowly like that and getting your body used to it early on in your training, your body has time to recover. It has time to adapt. So then you don't need to worry about how your legs are going to hold up on day 4 because you've been practicing it for 6 months. In Stronger, Faster, Finisher, you start it super early, and that is a 6-month program. So you have been doing it multiple weekends for 6 months. You'll build your mileage smarter. You'll recover in between. You'll train in a way that matches your pace, your life, not a plan designed for someone running an 8 or 9-minute mile. But you have to practice it ahead of time without overdoing it. And I should back up here a little. I do know that the 5K technically isn't timed, but they do want you to keep moving and they do pull you off if you're not continuing to move forward. Dopey participants, you do need to finish the 5K to get your challenge medal. So I don't say that to worry you because it's the least of your worries when compared to the marathon, right? But you do need to finish. And then it gets hard training for Dopey because you're doing more and more each day, as opposed to doing less each day, like starting with the marathon. So that's why I like to do that 4-day simulation with doing a little bit more each day. You actually do double each day, slowly building it up over time to simulate what Dopey weekend is like. Because if you think about it, the 10K is double the 5K, a half marathon is about double the 10K, and the full marathon is definitely double the half marathon. So I recommend starting off doing back-to-back simulations early. And if you're scared of getting swept, I get it. But you don't have to cross your fingers and hope. There is strategy, there is a way to plan for it. You can train with a plan that actually sets you up to finish all 4 days with confidence. That Dopey medal, it's yours. You just need a smarter path to get there. Before you go, if you're feeling nervous about whether you can actually cross the finish line at Dopey, if you've been training hard but still wondering, will I really make it? I want you to know there's a better way. Stronger, Faster Finisher is built for runners just like you. The slow, injury prone, not really a runner, runners who aren't chasing a podium. You're chasing a personal record in fun. You want those castle photos, those character stops, that pineapple cider at the finish line without feeling broken, defeated, or like you barely survived. Inside Stronger, Faster Finisher, you'll build your training smarter with the right mileage, the right pacing, and the right recovery. So you don't just survive Dopey. You'll finish it strong, proud, and smiling, exactly the way you imagined. The waitlist is now open. You can grab your spot through the link in the show notes. As always, thanks so much for listening. That's all for now. Talk to you soon.